Oh my God, wait, I gotta hide all of my fats. Oh, now I'm pushing you all the way into my fat. Oh my gosh. How can I hide my fat from you? I got too many issues today, right? Oh Lord. I have this thing stuck in my head. Oh Lord, have mercy. I want to put my float on, but then I don't. I'm a mess today. Like how? Don't be looking at my stomach, girl. Don't even. And then what I'm gonna try to do is, because my boyfriend is at home, as soon as he comes out, I'm going to shut you guys off. You're propped up on water bottles. What are you guys seeing? Hello. Oh, now there's like, oh, it's too much today. But I needed to get some of my vitamin D. I normally, well, I got issues. I have womanly issues right now in my stomach. So I'm like, I don't even want to get my butt. I was going to really put my butt in this thing here and just float, because floating is like my jam. It's kind of like how I meditate. Let me watch out for this man. Anyway, so quickly to get started, my boyfriend was like, oh, I'm so proud of you because I expected to come out yesterday at the dinner party and you were going to be like laying into these people. I can't see you guys' comments. And I was like, I have this phrase stuck in my head and I want to work on something, so I don't want to like say this phrase. But it's like, when you never ever underestimate the power of inner work. When you tap into yourself and working on things, it really works out for you because only you know what you need. And like right now, I you guys know when you're outside and there's a shadow and you can't really see your phone. And I'm trying to see you guys. Yeah, so it's kind of like only you know what you need, right? And I used to allow people to get my goat and go into all of these different debates. And there's so much to debate upon. But what I recognize is that I didn't like it. I didn't like wasting my time, wasting my energy, getting frustrated, getting mad, and then still not changing other people's opinions. And I feel like right now there's so much to disagree on, but we all agree that we are in hard and dark times right now. Like, I think we can all agree that we are experiencing a stress like never ever before seen in our lifetime, maybe our grandparents' lifetime with the depression. I don't know, maybe in '08, but I don't even think '08 would compare to this because '08 was all financial. Now that you have all of the health crisis that's being thrown into it, it's a level of dark and of fear and of you. If you wanted to debate stuff, you can debate for days, you know. And I just don't have it in me. So my boyfriend's like, I'm so proud of you. I thought I was gonna come back, you know, from doing what I was doing, and you were gonna be like laying into these people, and I'm like, why? Why are you with people right now when that's valuable energy that you could be using to do something else? And I thought I was going to come over here and like talk about like all of my current opinions, which my opinions have not changed. Like people do come and they ask me from my first video where I did address everything, like when everything started happening in 2020, my opinion has not changed, not 1%. And I feel like the things that I said in that video are ringing truer now than they even did back then. And I think we can just all agree that it's team too much right now, and we all want peace. So that's kind of the vibe that I want to stay in. Now, I'm not ignorant by any means. Sometimes I choose to allow myself to be ignorant to things just so that it can protect my peace. But it's so funny, and I'm trying to talk about this without going all into it. People can tell your level of education when you start talking to them. And I think it's really important to like show up and have something to say if it is your time to say. Don't always speak. You know what I mean? Don't always feel like you owe people an answer or something. But if you are passionate about certain situations, have something intelligent to add that can be received. I hate how this camera's looking. It's like I can't see anything. If anybody leaves a comment, I won't be able to see a thing. I can only see a little bit of an outline because it's so overcast. So I think because I'm doing my inner work, being more compassionate. And let's just go a little bit deeper. This is something I do feel comfortable sharing. So I've always been a kind of person to hone in my media and things that I'm watching. So what that does, it seems like that I get these answers or these lessons that I'm trying to see how I can shade you guys, but I do not want y'all to see my stomach because it is like extra bloated right now, you know. Um, I was gonna use the unicorn as shade for you guys so that I could see if anybody put a comment down or something like that because it is just so overcast. Anyway, so I tune in to things that are about self-development, about spirituality, about meditation. I'm a Christian, but I do like the spiritual aspect of life. As long as there is no crystals of worshiping or idols, I think that there is, I mean, that just ties into me. There's a big spiritual life out here, and we know when we can feel it because we can feel when, quote unquote, anxiety or unrest or just feeling unbalanced creeps in upon our own personal lifestyle, no matter what God we choose to serve, right? Or what we choose to call God, because I do believe that there's one God. He just has many names and many different translations. That's just what I believe. So I was watching this girl and she used the term burden, and she was talking about how we can have these stories in our mind, which that's like, you know, a main thing right now, a main topic, a main self-help, main spiritual, is that this life is all about the stories that we tell ourselves, which is absolutely true. That's all your life is. Whatever you're telling yourself, that's what your life is. Whatever you're stuck on or moving towards, that's what your life is. If you're stuck in the past, that's what your life is. If you're always moving towards the future, that's what your life is. If you're living in the now, that's what your life is. It's just whatever you are telling yourself, that is what you are creating your life to be. And right now, with so much social media and technology and this ability to live in a virtual world, it's like that more than ever. So she started talking about the story of being a burden, and that resonated with me so much. And she was saying how anything in life could be a burden. Your job, and you see this on social media. People complain about everything. Your job, being pretty, being healthy when everybody else is sick, being a caretaker, anything could be a burden in your life. And how you have to kind of go back, and this is where it concerns really deep inner work, and figure out why does the concept of being a burden resonate with you, because it comes out in so many different ways in your life. And for me, that really hit home because it even comes out in the way that you breathe. And breathing shouldn't be a burden, but for me, I do feel like the only time that I really notice the way that I breathe is when it is a burden, when it's like, I'm so frustrated, I'm so tired. It's not just like a, wow, whew, this is nice, which is what yoga kind of teaches you to do, is to tap into your movements and your breath. And I have not even tried to tap into my breath in yoga. I try to breathe, but I haven't been able to tap into my breath. And I think it's a real deep work to say, I have felt like a burden my entire time on this planet to somebody based on how I was conditioned. And it's time for me to release that because I cannot carry that with me during these hard and dark times. And if I cannot carry that, I don't want to be that to other people. And that is a real deep inner practice to say, I'm releasing the concept that I'm a burden. I'm releasing the concept that I need to be a burden to other people. And I think that if more and more people thought on that level, this world would be totally different. This idea of gravitating towards controversy would not be as rampant as what it is right now. And I think because people are holding on to the story of fear, of burden, of lack, of never enough, of some people have everything and I have nothing, or I'm a person that has everything, and somebody else has nothing, and I have to stay away from those people because there's all this division. So at our dinner party last night, it was like I was the only black person, okay, and not a comment, and I made a statement which I didn't even know. I felt it, but I didn't know how really deep it went within me. It's like, I don't support anything that divides people. If anything is being used as a divisive tactic among people, that's not an agenda that I'm going to stand behind. That's just me. That's a choice that I have really made. I understand that you have to draw a line sometimes in your life and say, okay, I'm going to accept this and I'm not going to accept this. And that's your choice to make. But I'm not going to make a choice that says that means that you are out of my life. Or like for saying like everyone like you done no personal wrong to me. Like that's a total difference. If you done a personal wrong to me, that's different. But just making these sweeping generalizations, if you vote for a certain person or you stand on a certain line about the whole status being currently required, that I can't conversate with you, listen to you, or have compassion for you, I won't. I won't. That to me is so barbarically, savagely baseless, the ultimate form of savage ignorance. That goes so civilized intelligence that I can't say I don't understand. I have a problem with people allowing that to be. I understand how we could be so below civilized intelligence because of the way that we are being allowed to be conditioned. Do we have to accept that? No. And I think a lot of people don't accept the conditioning, but it's the people that do that are being seen the most. There was like a topic that came up about, America under attack for being like attempted to be like morally corrupt. And they didn't even say like morally corrupt us, but it's kind of like a moral teardown. And you've seen this in different time periods of our life. Like no matter what you say or what you believe, there's a big thing, a big shift between how people see drugs and sex and children and money and what should be legal and what should be illegal. Like we've always had like little conversations here and there, but now it's like no, the boat is rocking and we don't even know like like the things that we would have thought would have been ridiculous like 10 years ago or 5 years ago are now becoming legalized. And it's just no matter what you believe, you have to have a balance in your life and not take on everything and feel like that you need to fight every battle or every cause unless you are really ready to make some real change. And I don't know if change always requires a fight per se. And I do look back on history, so this lady got mad at me, right? Because I didn't know who shot Martin Luther King. I don't know. But we always knew that the government did it, right? Like that's like we always felt the government did it, but there's no like real proof. But now that more and more information is coming out and she's on her rabbit hole, which I refuse to go on rabbit holes. Like I I could really be that person that just sat there and got into conspiracy theories and just sat there and had all these kind of different thoughts. But I refuse to use my precious life researching all of these things. Like, let's just say I become like the in all scholar of the black plight in America, or like the presidential corruption in America, or even like viruses in America. Let's just say I just became the number one expert, right? Even that's comical because there is no number one expert. And it seems to me that the people that other people listen to the most are the ones who are not experts. So what is now I'm not saying to be ignorant, but it's all about what are you getting out of it? And that, the book I do love, and I normally float the pool and listen to the book, and that's what I'm gonna do when I get off of this, is You Are a Badass. I didn't think I was gonna like that book. I really do love it. And the whole idea of having false rewards. And I do think that this controversy is a false reward. So in the book, she talks about how if you're depressed, you do have a false reward system because people will check on you. You can have beer for breakfast. You can sleep in. You don't have to try your hardest because, hey, you're depressed. You have excuses. If you are single, you don't have to go out. You don't have to dress nice. You can just sit home with your cat and complain about being single because, hey, you are single. Everything that we create in our life, whether we like it or not, especially things that we do not like, The things that we do not like that we are allowing in our life should be examined because there is a false reward behind it. For me, I don't like controversy. Like, I feel like I'm all controversied out. Like, what do you call those clickbait videos? Oh my God. Like, I think that's like so tired and so lame and so toxic. And it's why would people want to get attention by putting out a toxic clip or toxic message so that other people will come and see what the toxicity really is? That is a real screwed up mentality that is normalized, and it needs to be denormalized. like that's like really screwed up, man. Like, but it is a part of the conditioning of trauma and the conditioning of all of these different emotional issues, mental health issues. If you say, I have this issue, I have that issue, I can't function, I can't do this, like, it allows people to not rise up. It allows people to sink lower because they don't have to think beyond the falseness. Even if they're just saying, oh, it's just for drama, it's just for fun, or you don't understand. No, I understand that you will choose to tag a negative reality for attention. Wow. That's deep. No matter what you say or what, and what's even deeper is the mass amount of people that will flock to that. If you have a more realistic persona, that's not where the mass amount of people populate. People want the alternate reality or the toxic. And that's deep because, once again, it goes back to, well, what are you conditioning your mind for? Well, what are you conditioning your mind to do and to be? And then, how are you now conditioned to know what the truth is? Like, are you even conditioned to tell the difference between what's fake and what's real? Is that part of your brain even on to recognize why the truth is still valuable, or have you turned that off? I'm looking at my boyfriend. He's about to come out here. So I am going to turn this off and put back on my book and float. I thought I was going to get a little bit more riled up in this video, but I didn't, which is probably good because the inner work works. It really does work. And I will practice that. And as they call it, like daily practices, a daily practice is important. You need to be examining what your daily practices are and what you're drawn to, and questioning why you are drawn to those things. Because I did hear a great story or a truth. Do you know how to kill a hog? Like, if you're a hunter, hogs are very hard to catch and very prized because they have a lot of meat. What do you do to kill a hog? You lay out, I said, set a trap, right? Is that what you're gonna say? No. You set out food in the same place every day. The hog will keep coming back. The same place every day. All you gotta do is set that food out for enough days and come back. The hog's gonna be there, and it's easy to slaughter. And I was like, I will never forget that. And I don't want to be the kind of person where you just lay out my trap. Like, it's not even like a physical trap that's gonna entrap me. Like, I've got more respect for a physical trap that just like swoops me up and harms me immediately, versus the idea that I'm coming to feed off of something just so somebody else can use that against me. I'm just saying, people, start thinking a little bit deeper. I think I will always say that exposure is really important, and being able to have a non-emotional conversation with people who don't look like you or think like you is going to be very, very valuable, because it's just a lot of confusion right now, but it's all emotionally based. It's not really based on anything. People don't want to be educated. They just want to be emotional. And I don't know where the benefit in that is. So I'm going to go put my book back on and probably go to the bathroom. But thank you guys so much. Maybe I'll come back a little bit later. I hate that I can't see you, but you can see me. Enjoy your Sunday and put your comments in. I don't know how long I'm going to keep this up for.